and gentlemen, welcome back to the Maryland Hockey Network for round 2 of Maryland versus Virginia Tech. Terps and Hokies going back at it again. Terps looking for a bit of a redemption game tonight. My name is Bailey Unchester. I'm joined by my friend Owen Korzak. How are you doing tonight, Owen?
I'm good. I'll be a lot better if Maryland's able to rebound after a very disappointing loss last night. Terps lost to Virginia Tech, who obviously they host again here tonight. 3-1. All 4 of the goals were scored on the power play. All 3 of Virginia Tech's goals were on the power play. All of the lone Maryland goal came from typically a fourth-line winger, James Body, on the power play. So Maryland's looking to build on some momentum. They played a lot better as the game got on. They got a lot more comfortable. But Bailey, Caleb Craven, who we said we thought might go back to his typical defense position, he's back on the wing. This time, the right wing.
Yes, Caleb Craven slotting in as that right wing in the second line tonight. Talked a little bit to assistant coach Trevor Drake earlier on before this game, and I asked him a little bit behind what the thought process was behind this Craven forward experiment and what his thought process was behind putting him in this right wing position tonight specifically. He said that he's switching up the people who he's with on his line. Tommy Pilkington is going to be with them. Trevor basically said that both of them have a good one-time slap shot that they think that they can both utilize, bounce off each other, and they're going to see if maybe the chemistry between Pilkington and Craven is what the Terps need right now to see if Craven in as a forward tonight is going to be something that can maybe stick around long term. Yeah,
it'll certainly be something we monitor throughout the game. In net again, it is Jack Pharisee. It's his 4th straight start, and let me tell you, the 3 starts prior, he's been by far, you could make the argument, the Terps' best player.
Definitely. Pharisee lights out as per usual, such a huge asset to the Terps team this year. Devin Brown still out with a leg injury, making Pharisee the lone starter that we have. And the issue last night definitely was not him. Some unlucky chances, 2 goals last night against him from Virginia Tech's Peduzzi. Same shot both times. Peduzzi from the point just slid one right past Pharisee's left side glove. Peduzzi, though, for Virginia Tech, not in the lineup tonight. Their main guy, 185 career point scorer, the ACCHL player of the year last year, taking a break tonight.
Yeah, they're going to healthy scratch him. They're looking to probably use him more down the stretch. You know, he's a big piece to Virginia Tech's success. And Maryland, on the other end, they're a team that produces a lot. They're very physical, and especially against a team like Virginia Tech, where a lot of these kids are kind of making a homecoming. It's going to be another physical match yesterday. Very physical. Caleb Craven, who we were just talking about, he had a 10-minute game misconduct yesterday. So probably want to avoid making sure Peduzzi stays healthy down the stretch so Virginia Tech can make another deep run in the ACC tournament.
Definitely, this game's not counting towards conference play, just something for both teams to sort of get a feel for each other before, as we were talking about the ACC showcase next weekend. So, guys, we have Puck Drop for you in just under 3 minutes, so make sure you stay tuned for round 2 of Terps and Hokies.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Maryland Hockey Network. Here we are just before lineups and the anthem. I am Owen Korzak, joined alongside Bailey Unchester. Bailey, this is going to be a really good game. We just talked a little bit about it pregame. Yesterday was neck and neck. It seemed like for most of the game, the score maybe not necessarily representative of how it went. It seems like Virginia Tech really dominated early, and they probably should have scored more than one goal in that first period. And then for Maryland, that third period, they were the better team. And it was a little shocking that a game with a lot of power play scoring, Maryland wasn't able to get anything on the board in that third period.
Definitely. Both teams did blank that third period, though. Maryland lone goal scorer last night by James Body off a nice power play rebound from Travis Duchesne. Really their best chance of the night, and they were able to capitalize there. And Maryland's just lucky that they got on the board at all, in my opinion. But we have puck drop just underway in a few seconds, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and Ian Key was the netminder for Virginia Tech last night. He played very solid. Tonight, Tucker Forrest, a Vienna, Virginia native. There is a fair chance I have served him Rita's Ice in the past 2 years.
Yes, I mean, lots of folks here from both sides from that Northern Virginia area. I know Owen and Andy, 2 of the 3 Maryland Hockey Network media members residing from there, and a few guys here on both sides as well. So it's the place to be.
Andy remains on IR this weekend, nursing a jaw injury. He will be back next week, allegedly, he says. So hopefully you guys didn't miss him too much. And we're going to head over to the PA announcer, Brandon Appleton, as he announces the lineups for both Virginia Tech and Maryland. Well, not sure if the folks at home were able to pick that up, but I'm sure Brandon Appleton will be telling us about that, all about that in the first intermission report. The anthem cut out for a second. The fans picked it up, and then he was able to bring it back.
Yes, vibes are already high here tonight at the Gardens Ice House. Virginia Tech and Maryland fans alike picking up the anthem where it cut out. So we are ready, clearly, for a good night of hockey right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We'll see how everything starts, but it's going to be Pharisee versus Forrest, 2 F goalies for both the Hokies and the Maryland Terrapins. It's going to be a very, very good one. Maryland looking to rebound. As we said earlier, they fell 3-1 last night here in College Park, or here in Laurel. Maryland, they're going to be starting the game out with their 4th line, as Bailey likes to call them, the power of friendship line.
Yes, definitely. Body, Wilson, and Warner. 3 veterans who like to make something happen. We've seen them get some nice goals together with the nice sequencing. Action is really their main go-to play, so we're going to see here if this face-off right off the dot, the power of friendship can make something happen.
And the opening face-off is won by West Valiant for Virginia Tech. Rice sends it, tried to get it to Matt Tulo, and now Virginia Tech trying to produce a good forecheck. Warner, a very nice saucer pass to Chase Wilson. Wilson now going to send it towards the net. Body now tying up with Rice. Teske gets it. That puck goes into the netting, and we have an early stoppage in play just 27 seconds into this game.
We almost saw something happen there from the power of friendship. I wanted to see Wilson maybe look for a pass behind him. You saw Warner crashing in a little bit. And as I said earlier, this line specifically, they are great with that sequencing passing. They know each other. They could probably pass each other blindfolded. So that could have been a fun early goal for them.
Last night, Maryland was able to generate a power play opportunity just minutes into the game. Let's see if they're able to replicate that here. Petter now sends it towards Body behind the net. Body, patient, sends it in front. A stoppage, maybe a little bit of, not too sure what happened there. He tried to maybe sneak it behind the pad of Tucker Forrest. Warner was in front of the net, maybe a little bit of collision there, but the 2 teams will send out 5 new skaters each. Virginia Tech, or Maryland now, with their top line out there centered by Luke Mohan, who's had a much bigger role for this Terps team as the season has gone on. We talked about it last night. Started the season off as the 3rd-line center, has progressed his way up to that 1st line, centering Schreibman and Harnan, the Terps' 2 leading goal scorers. And Schreibman now in a battle with Gavin Naw. Good play there by Sarah. Sends it behind the net, Max Sullivan, who was very, very busy last night. We called his name a lot. Eamon now. Collision there with Jacob Watchell. That puck going all the way towards Pharisee, and another early stoppage here. And Maryland producing some solid offense here, something we didn't see too early as Virginia Tech ices the puck. Both teams will keep the same group on. Virginia Tech doesn't have a choice. Maryland opting to go with that 1st line and that 2nd defense pairing of Sean Eamon and Andre Serra. Faceoff was won by Mohan. Schreibman with a quick chance. Harnan sends that puck towards Forrest, and he quickly corrals it.
Yeah, we've seen totally a change of pace here tonight in comparison to last night. I mean, Terps really seem like they are dominating these first few minutes of play here. We seem like we are living in the crease of Tucker Forrest with a lot of great early chances here for both of these starting lines who have been on here for the Terps so far.
Yeah, Maryland picking up right where they left off. They played a very solid 3rd period last night. Despite not getting on the score sheet, they're looking to change that tonight here in Laurel. And now Virginia Tech a break here, and they've got a wide open man in alone. A good play by Sarah to catch up, and Pharisee holds on to the puck. It was Ewan Andrew who was alone. Sarah, who had multiple odd man rush stops last night, picking up right where he left off. A good defensive play there. Andrew was looking for maybe a penalty. Refs don't call it. It'll be an offensive zone faceoff though now for the Hokies. Zach Stewart unable to win the draw. That was Grant Warner. Nice puck control here by Jack Rakowskis. Leaves it back for Andrew Wallace, who was a healthy scratch last night, back in the lineup. He's been in and out of the lineup all season. Warner tried to get a pass to his winger, Craven. Craven now with some speed. Couldn't beat the Hokie to the puck. Craven now tried to center it to Pilkington, who lost control of the puck. A nice play there by Maryland to try and keep the puck in the zone for a moment, but here come the Hokies with some numbers. Leaving it back for Stewart. Here come the Hokies now. Andrew behind the net, that's Andrew again. Wallace forced it right to Craven, and here comes Caleb Craven. Nice deke there. Pinned up against a penalty box, and a big hit here early. Tyler Gordon delivering a blow. And now Colin Doherty, who played very, very well last night as that extra skater, earned his way back into the main forward core for Maryland here tonight. Cam Horan, and a nice hit there. Eli Petter goes flying, and his stick does too. So this game not lacking any physicality here early. A centering pass goes off the stick of a Hokie, and now Doherty, nearly a very good pass that would have been to Duchesne. Romps had a chance to feed him too, but he lost it. Virginia Tech, a good forecheck here as of late. Teskey now in a battle with D'Antona, Virginia Tech now starting to find a rhythm. Duchesne now sends that puck towards center ice, and the Hokies recovered a very nice deke there by Brian Rice. Rice lost the puck. He might have been trying to center it, and here come the Terps. Blake Warner showing some nice handles. Tried to get the puck to the net. Warner was just really dominated there by a few Hokies. Body delivering a nice little check to Rice. Body now with it, the lone goal scorer. He lost control of the puck. A good opportunity there for the Terps, squandered. But Blake Warner now, the biggest guy on the ice for either team tonight, and Body finds the puck. A very nice move, Body, and tripped. I'm surprised we didn't see a penalty there.
That was an incredible move.
Yeah, a very nice move, something you don't see from the 6'5" right winger on this fourth line. Some nice handles there. Like I said, I thought we might have seen a trip there. They're going to say he tripped on his own skates. The Virginia Tech parent just looked at me with a dirty look. Maybe if they could stop James Body, they wouldn't have to do that, but here we are. Schreibman now in a fight for the puck. This core of forwards is working really well for Maryland here today. A good job there by Austin Hearn to send the puck out of their zone. Sean Amon in a fight for it with Matt Tulo. Schreibman, some nice handles there. Schreibman might have been held a little bit. The refs don't see anything, so the refs were pretty trigger happy in terms of calling penalties last night. They're allowing both teams to get away with a little bit more tonight. Schreibman with an opportunity here. He couldn't control the puck. Patrick Harnan with a nice send towards Schreibman. A Hokie fan on the puck. That was Tal Lanigan. Hokies come with numbers here. Centering pass intended for Jacob Watchell. Puck is still free. Schreibman now in a fight for it. Fight still happening. Luke Mohan and company there. A nice centering pass to Ethan Garlock, but Jack Pharisee, really the first shot that he's faced here tonight, his first save. And Maryland doing a really good job, both offensively and defensively here early.
Yeah, and Pharisee not taking any chances in goal tonight. You've seen him jump on a few pucks if they even come near his crease, and it's worked out for him so far.
Another quick shot off the face-off draw. That was by Zach Stewart from Richmond, Virginia, a sophomore for this Hokies team. Pharisee denies him. Maryland with their second line out here tonight, centered by Grant Warner, winged by freshman Tommy Pilkington and junior Caleb Craven, who, like we said, a lot yesterday and then even pregame, typically a defenseman, putting him on the wing for a little bit more of an offensive spark. Pilkington now here. Terps might have a chance to generate a chance. And a penalty here early on Virginia Tech. Grant Warner lost his stick. They're going to call, I believe, a slashing. It's going to be on Brian Rice, and Virginia Tech losing a top pair defenseman as they go on the penalty kill. And an opportunity here early for Maryland. Their lone goal was on the power play, and they've got their top unit out here. They made some changes. Brian Teskey, who's typically the quarterback of that group, got moved to the second line. James Body, after his power play goal, he was in, honestly, as a substitution. They're keeping him out there.
Body and Duchesne both out there. Duchesne with the assist on last night's goal off a shot that was just skied over the goal body with that rebound in the crease, ended up sneaking one in. So we're going to see if they can recreate that right here, right now.
And a really good clearance there by Virginia Tech. It went right through the hand of Eli Petter, who could not keep it in the zone. Caleb Craven, though, he's going to be quarterbacking this unit, you'd think. And here comes Maryland. Petter back to Craven. 2 Terps to the right, and that's Harnon, who sends it towards Body. Body has all day to do whatever he wants here behind the net. Body sent it to Craven. He fanned on it. He would have had a good shot opportunity there. And here comes Duchesne. Duchesne analyzing it. He's going to send it to Harnon. Harnon back to Petter. Petter struggling here early on this power play. And now here comes Virginia Tech. 2-on-1. A good play there by Petter. And here come the Terps now. Harnon whiffed on it. Pharisee, a quick shot save. And a good job there by Virginia Tech's penalty kill to generate a few chances. And Petter, another turnover. Eli Petter not having the best start to the game. Here comes Matthew Tulo. A shot saved by Pharisee, so Virginia Tech already 2 shots on this penalty kill. Maryland, no power play shots yet.
We saw some good pressure there from Craven just there on Tulo to really prevent that shot from being anything more than just a quick push towards Pharisee, and you can tell that Craven's still a defenseman at heart, especially on this power play unit. He's going to do what he knows best.
Maryland, they have 3 freshmen on the ice right now on the second power play unit. Quarterbacked by the captain, Brian Teskey. You got Michael Schreibman, a sophomore, so 4 of the 5 skaters on the second unit. Underclassmen. Pilkington couldn't win the battle. Teskey finds the puck, a shot right over the glove of Tucker Forrest. Pilkington sending it to Warner. Warner might have whiffed on it for a second. Back to Teskey. Teskey, a lot of room. Back to Warner. Warner, shot. Might have been deflected in front by a Hokie. Pilkington, good pass across the ice to Warner. Couldn't cleanly field it. Good pass back to Pilkington. He couldn't control it, and the puck is going to go out of the zone, and Virginia Tech gets a quick change, and Warner now tried to center it back to Pilkington, but it's turned over, and Virginia Tech is going to successfully kill the first penalty kill, or successfully kill the first penalty of this game. So Maryland, a similar start to last night. They had an early power play, weren't able to make anything out of it. But both teams playing pretty well disciplined so far early. Maryland's 4th line in now. Teskey trying to get it back to Amon, but it's going to go directly to a Hokie. That's Andrew. A good centering pass in front of the net. Amon now with it. Turned over. Good centering pass there, but Teskey got a piece of it with his stick, and Virginia Tech's going to have to reset. David Ovitz turns it over nearly to Blake Warner, but Warner couldn't cleanly field the puck. Now Wilson in a fight for it along the boards. Hokies come away with it. Good pass. Close to Pharisee. Amon able to break up. And he shot there. Cam Horan out there for the first time tonight. He's the extra skater. I predicted that he was going to be out here tonight, and what do you know? I was right.
You know puck.
Perhaps. Puck sent towards Pharisee. Sarah might have lost his stick there. No, a Hokie lost his stick. He was trying to just keep the puck on the ground with his hands. A fight for the puck along the boards. Haran and Warner both involved. Amon. Here come the Hokies. Good opportunity there. Don't know if they got a shot off. I don't think they were able to. And a really nice stick there by Haran for the moment. Shot just wide of the net. Really good shot there from Lanigan. Another shot to the net, a far shot. Pharisee got a piece of it. Sarah gonna send that puck way up there. Harnon couldn't see it. He might have had a chance at maybe a little partial break for the Terps. Terps hockey trying to deliver Maryland one of their only wins of this weekend, school-wide. Sarah now with it. Mohan didn't see the puck. Had he been able to, would have been a good opportunity there. Harnon, ooh, a very, very, very hard hit there. Gets up, looks a little shaken. Good shot there and a score for the Hokies. Able to capitalize. Harnon looks really, really not okay right there. It was a really nice hit delivered by Max Sullivan, and the Hokies, thanks to Matthew Tulo, who scored the first goal of the game last night, puts the Hokies on the board first.
Yeah, Terps were essentially short-handed there. Harnan unable to get back to the zone for any defense there, with essentially being flown into the boards there by the side closest to us.
Yeah, it was Sullivan there. It was it looked like Harnan went airborne. I was so distracted by him looking very uncomfortable on the ice that I didn't even really see the play set up. But Tulo scores nonetheless, and then maybe I thought it was going to be icing for a second there. It wasn't. But Maryland, who've been playing very well early here, give up a very, very unfortunate goal. And offsides here. Called by the linesman. Both teams will get some new skaters out there. Maryland getting their third defense unit out there of Wallace and Rakowskis. Face-off won by the Hokies. Warner might be the one who comes away with the puck, and he, I believe, is. And he is now. A great centering pass to Pilkington. He couldn't cleanly get the puck there. A shot from Wallace at the blue line. And that puck's going to be cleared, and we might have an icing here. It's not. Wallace fighting for the puck with Watchell. Centering pass there. Pharisee didn't have to make a save, though. Pilkington tried to clear it, but it went right to a Hokie. That was Chris Kube, I believe. Here comes Caleb Craven. Terps with some numbers here, taking their time entering the zone, and the Hokies are able to catch up. Warner turns it over. Now Caleb Craven in a fight for the puck along the boards. Warner comes away with it. Tried to get it to Pilkington, and a Hokie got a piece of it with their skate. That was Kellogg, and a big hit along the board delivered by Tommy Pilkington. And here comes Kellogg. Kellogg tried to set it back to one of his teammates, Sean Amon there making a play, and Tommy Pilkington just sends the puck towards the Virginia Tech zone, and that puck headed toward you and Andrew. And a nice hit there by Sarah, who definitely has come to play this weekend. Colin Doherty now. Nice little silhouette there. Or pirouette, excuse me. Travis Duchesne now with some room, with Romps. Duchesne, a little bit of a dump in. I believe the puck went in the netting, and Maryland will have an offensive zone faceoff.
Terps definitely slowing down a little bit as this first period carries on. Such a dominant first 5 minutes. Still not playing terribly, but I do think that that penalty kill we had a few minutes ago really put a damper on sort of a spark that they may have had with them.
Duchesne attacked the net but couldn't get a shot off. Teske just sent the puck towards the Virginia Tech goalie, Tucker Forrest. Forrest was a phenomenal goalie in high school. Puck is free in front of the net. The Terps couldn't get the rebound. James Roms had a chance to maybe whack it in. Now Petter behind Pharisee. Nearly loses it. Teske with it, goes back to Petter. Petter couldn't get there in time, though. Now here comes Colin Doherty, but he couldn't get it either. So the puck really slippery here for Maryland. Teske, nice job there controlling it for the Terps. Shot there from Teske, and Maryland will be able to set up with an offensive zone faceoff. Tucker Forrest. He had a .947 in 14 games for Reston's AA 18U in 2023-2024. He actually, funny enough, Andy Parr, our typical play-by-play commentator, went up against him in high school. Can you believe that? Full circle moment here at the Gardens Ice House. Teske, a quick shot, couldn't get to the net. Warner sends it back to Teske. Hokie is down. Teske, another shot, a save by Tucker Forrest. We're going to have a stoppage. I believe that.
Looks like Rice, I believe, for the Hokies. I could be wrong, though. All I'm seeing is a 2 on the jersey.
I believe
that
that
is
John Ryan. John Ryan, who, fourth line left wing, he was the one who got a piece of the Teske shot. And we have a trainer for the Maryland team checking in on Rice. We hope he's okay. Shout out Brandon for stopping the music during an injury.
It's not Rice, though, because Rice is standing right there. I'm trying to see the number on the back to get confirmation.
I believe it is John Ryan, number 24 for the Hokies, the fourth line left winger from Ashburn, Virginia. So kind of a homecoming game for him, not too far, probably about an hour away from home. Sure his family's here, hoping he's okay. So J.H. Lagas didn't look too happy walking away from him. It wasn't a dirty play. It was just a shot to the net. Teske, we know how dangerous he is shooting, and Virginia Tech commentator just gave me another dirty look, so not too sure why everybody from Virginia Tech is looking at me so
They know you're from there, and they
mischievously.
know that you, traitor, came up here.
I would not say that I am the traitor in this situation.
No,
but
you're not. I don't think you are. I don't think you are. They maybe think
maybe
differently.
they weren't a fan of what I was saying about the officiating last night's broadcast. But they're unhappy. If any Hokie fans are unhappy with our stream, I know Virginia Tech definitely streams, so
I'm sure they're all there anyways.
yeah.
We're talking to the masses of 32 viewers right now.
And I know Andy's one of them, so
We appreciate all you guys for being here on your Saturday night. I mean, what else are you going to do? I'm sure you're all kicked back on the couch right now. Get some popcorn, get some
we
snacks.
could do a little Maryland sports recap while we have a stoppage. Maryland football lost today to Rutgers. Bailey, is Loxley going to get fired this year?
You know, I actually had a presentation from Loxley the other day, and he seems very dedicated still, but his recruiting is good, I know, but the record doesn't show from it.
Yeah, Ryan is skating off with the help from Brian Rice and Matthew Tulo, hoping he's okay. Maryland soccer, though, Big Ten champions for the regular season, so that's
It's the one thing we have
the
going
one
on
thing
for
Maryland
us.
has going for them
Maryland
right now.
basketball, however, on the other hand,
Yeah, Maryland basketball did not play well against Georgetown last night. They only lost by 10 points, but they were down by 20 points late in that game, so score definitely did not do Georgetown the justice. Team is not looking too great, especially after a Sweet 16 appearance last year. Maryland volleyball fell to the conference winless Ohio State Buckeyes today in 5 sets. Maryland field hockey eliminated in the first round, also by Ohio State this week in the Big Ten tournament. So the Ice Terps here trying to put a better taste in Terp fans' mouth. Teske, a shot to the net, couldn't go. Warner collided with Chase Wilson. Tried to get a breakthrough pass to Austin Hearn. Hearn couldn't get there, though. Petter now tried to clear it, but puck was unable to clear the zone, and Pharisee will hold on to it, and Maryland is going to have a defensive zone face-off here. Maryland women's soccer, too, just to wrap it off. Their season ended a while ago. Not the best season for Michael Marciano's crew.
definitely not. Maryland's women's soccer, not really their
Maryland is a men's
prime
soccer.
sport.
Yeah, Maryland is a men's soccer and men's lacrosse school, it seems like. Oh, and women's basketball. Women's basketball, on the other hand, they've looked very sharp for Maryland. Fight for the puck. Orkowskis might have came away with it. He did, and he leaves it for Wallace. Andrew Wallace off the boards, tried to clear it, went through the glove of Brandon Rice. They call icing. I thought for sure Rice got a piece of that puck,
Yeah, it
so
looked like
I'm
somebody
not
was-
necessarily sure what the call was there. Officials are having a word about it. They recognize it was not the right icing call. It's going to go to center ice. Learned that yesterday from Andy. Shout out Andy. You learn something new every day. Flying Birdies #1. There was a stoppage of play due to an injury to Virginia Tech's number 24, John Ryan. He took a shot from Brian Teske. Ended up going off. We didn't want to show the injury on the camera, so we did not angle it that way. Hopefully that is able to answer your question. Virginia Tech, though, now developing some sustained offensive possession. Centering pass. Couldn't cleanly wind up in the hands of the Hokies. Here comes Schreibman. Schreibman with Harden. Great pass by Schreibman. Harden couldn't get there in time, though. Oh, and Harden again, the second big hit on him. You got to hope that one of the Terps finally stands up for their leading goal scorer. Virginia Tech physically doing whatever they want. Harden just clears that one away. Harden, a warrior here tonight, already has taken 2 really nasty hits and has not really shown any signs of slowing down. Amen. Terps couldn't catch the Hokies changing. Amen didn't get to the puck in time. There were about 3 Terps who would have had breakaways there. Pharisee's got to get in the net. And Sean Amen now sending it back to Sarah. Sarah back to Amen, the 2-play catch. They've been a very solid defense pairing this season for Maryland. Amen now with it again. He tried to get it to Schreibman. Pilkington now with it. He's going to send it toward the net, allow Maryland to change. Schreibman go into the bench now for the Terps as their second line comes out there. Craven gets a piece of the puck. Pharisee just going to hold on to it smartly there. Pressure from you and Andrew, who's been very, very present here tonight.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, I'm really curious to see how the Terps are going to respond physically, if they're going to respond physically. Again, Patrick Harnett getting bullied on the ice tonight. Not the biggest guy, but certainly a quick skater, very agile, and to see him go down so hard twice in the same period, something's got to be done about that.
Face-off won by the Hokies. A shot couldn't get to the net. There were too many players in front. A great save by Pharisee on the rebound. Rice tries to keep it in, but his defense pairing, and Tommy Pilkington just slipped. Taking a page out of the Rasmus Ristolainen books. If you know, you know.
Nobody knows. Nobody's watching the Sabres.
Well, he's actually no longer a Sabre. But Brian Teske now with it, sends it back to Petter. Petter tried to get it to Craven. This is going to be icing, I believe. And yes, it will be a good call by the officials there. Puck will go back into the Maryland defensive zone for a face-off. This group of skaters is really tired for the Terps. Warner at the circle against West Valiant. From Exeter, New Hampshire, a freshman. Going back to the goal earlier for Tulo, it was his 7th of the year. Had 6 coming in today, 7 now. Puck drop, face-off won by the Hokies. Rice sending it back. Shot from the point, and a good save there by Pharisee again. Craven trying to just get the puck out of here. Rice, another shot. Warner might have gotten a piece of it. Warner and Rice getting into it a little bit here, and Teske's now just going to cautiously send it back to Petter. Pilkington got a piece of the puck. Oh, they're going to say he didn't. Wow. So it's going to be icing, and Maryland's going to have the same group of skaters back on the ice. They are very gassed, you can tell. I thought for sure Pilkington got a piece of the puck there. They're going to say he didn't. Face-off one here by the Hokies. Puck nearly went out of the zone. A high puck. Petter tried to catch it. He's not been very successful at doing that here tonight. Hokies maintaining possession. A nice check there by Brian Teske. And another nice check there by the Hokies. That was Jackson DeVivo. But Caleb Craven now. Caleb Craven, good chance here for the Terp. Great centering pass. Roms couldn't control it though. It was a great play by Craven to first off get to the net and then get the pass off. And here come the Hokies on the other end. Rakowskis. Good defensive play there by him. Doherty directly to DeVivo. DeVivo now. Way up. And Rakowskis, a nice pirouette there. Battle for it along the boards. Wallace is going to get there. Try to center it to Romps. Maryland's got to be careful here. A good chance there for Valiant. I'm not sure if he saw the puck with how much was going on. Romps, great pass. That's to Doherty. Doherty tried to get a shot off, and Romps just didn't see the puck in front of him. He decided to head back towards the bench instead of maybe taking a shot. Shot, rebound, too low. What a play by Wallace to block the puck. Oh my goodness. A wide open net, and Andrew Wallace, not necessarily a regular in the lineup, making the most out of his time here tonight for Maryland. Tulo had an opportunity on a golden platter for him, and Wallace with a great play to prevent the puck from going into the net. Now Sarah in a battle behind the net. Now Blake Warner is going to try to clear the puck. It goes to Rice. Rice now tried to get a breakout pass. That would have been to Matthew Tulo. Tulo, obviously one of the better scorers on this Hokies team. His presence certainly being felt here tonight. Maryland hasn't really been able to generate a lot of offense here in this first period. Sarah tried to clear it. It goes back to Lagus. Lagus shot. And there's going to be a stoppage here. We're going to have a penalty against the Terps. I'm not too sure. Hokies fans were looking for a call. I believe the fan who was looking for it, though, was the same one who gave Caleb Craven the bird in the box last night, though. So obviously take it with a grain of salt.
It's like no call, I think.
Yeah,
We just had a Hokie in the net there, kind of tripped over the post.
We saw a play like that earlier for Maryland. Chase Wilson now. I think he would have won the faceoff if the official wasn't in the way. Rice, shot, puck nearly got through. Centering pass, a great one. Not the best shot though, a Terp got a piece of it. Here comes Blake Warner. Less than 2 minutes now remaining in this first period. Amon turns it over, but they're going to call it offsides. Jacob Watchell had a really good opportunity there. West Providence, New Jersey native, a freshman. So Virginia Tech, New Providence, New Jersey.
Town right next to me.
Did I say West Providence?
You said West Providence. No hate on New Providence, New Jersey. It's a lovely town. I like their Chipotle.
Just a random fun fact of the day. Bailey Unchester likes the New Providence Chipotle.
They also have a smash burger. It was the first place I drove when I got my license.
Teske now, like he's in the battle with it. Harnan comes away with it. Harnan really just not having the luckiest day in terms of, taking blows. That's about the third hit on him that looked a little ugly. Petter was trying to get to the Hokie, and the official was in the way, so official's not really helping Maryland in the sense of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Virginia Tech might have a chance to put in a late goal here, though, with about a minute left in this period. A turnover. Schreibman cautiously and patiently entering the Virginia Tech zone. Schreibman. Shot. Oh, no, looks like a Hokie got a piece of it. Harnan couldn't find the puck after the shot, and that's going to go into the netting in Maryland. It's going to be a delay of game maybe here.
I'm not sure if that pass was intentionally sent out, but definitely a little high and could have probably been controlled definitely better. Just skimmed the net there on its exit. And I'm sorry, I know the moment's passed. Another thing about New Providence, though, actually the hometown of Matt Fusillo, the founder of Maryland Hockey Network a few years ago. So shout out to him for giving us the start and all the generations that have come after this.
So my speculation on the delay of game not called. I don't think I've ever seen a delay of game called in the ACCHL in terms of just trying to clear the puck and it going into the netting. Face-off won by the Hokies. Trying to clear it. Sarah couldn't get there in time. It would have been a really good opportunity there for Maryland to maybe put a goal or put up some chances. It seems like Tucker Forrest, since early in the game, hasn't really faced a lot of shots. Virginia Tech doing a really good job. The game almost eerily similar to last night's performance by both of these teams. Warner, really good job by the freshman to keep the puck in the zone as we approach about 25 seconds left in this period. Warner in a battle for it. Puck is free in front. Amon couldn't get a clean shot off in Maryland again. It's once they get the puck into the offensive zone, haven't really been able to maintain any possession. But here come the Terps with some numbers. Craven, less than 10 seconds, tries to leave it for Warner. Great pass, but a great save by Tucker Forrest, and the Terps unable to get the buzzer beater. It was a great pass from Craven. Warner just couldn't bury it. And we're going to go into the second period. Maryland trailing the Hokies 1-0.
Caleb Craven at forward tonight has had some good chances so far at that right wing. That one back there we just saw too. Just stayed out of that right side of Tucker Forrest with him and Grant Warner having a sequence there. Terps had some chances late, as you just saw. Still down 1-0, however.
Just to see James Romps having a really animated conversation with one of the linesmen as he's going into the bench. But we will be back in about 10 minutes for the second period of play. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Maryland Hockey Network. I am Owen Korzak, joined alongside Bailey Unchester. Bailey, first period, Maryland gave up a goal. The shots for the first period, Virginia Tech 12, Maryland 8.
Yeah, definitely. Shots are pretty even in terms of stat-wise on the sheet itself, but you saw a difference between quality of shots in both teams. Maryland, even though they were able to put up 8 shots on the board, a lot of them were just kind of cheap dump-ins that happened to find their way to the net somehow. No real chances of scoring apart from a few, so we're going to see if they can pick that up here as we get ready to start the second period. Yeah,
it's been a very, very kind of chippy game. We've seen a lot of physicality, but only one penalty called that was on Virginia Tech. So this game is definitely far from over. Maryland, they did a good job responding. They came out of the first period last night, or started the second period off really strong, scored pretty early on a James Body power play goal. So we'll see if Maryland is able to apply some positive pressure here early, as the player's still not back out on the ice. It's been a second out, now we see some Hokies coming out there. We talked about a lot during the intermission about Caleb Craven and his move to forward for this weekend, and it's probably generated the 2 best chances for Maryland here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I talked a little bit to assistant coach Trevor Drake before the game, asked him just a little bit behind the coaching decision to keep Craven in at this forward line, and he just said, quote, "We needed an offensive spark. Caleb's pretty fast, and he's very good at being aggressive." And he explained a little bit after that about how we're already strong defensively. He trusts all the defensemen we have in our lineup, so why not give Caleb a shot in that forward range? And compared to last night too, where we saw him in at the left wing, where he didn't really generate a lot of offense, he's now on that right wing. Asked Trevor about that as well, and he just said that we switched who he's with. He's with Tommy Pilkington now, and both Craven and Pilkington have a good one-timer slap shot, and I think Trevor Drake and the rest of the coaching staff just want to see if they can take advantage with both of them having similar playing styles, meshing together on that same second line.
Yeah, we definitely saw a few good chances, especially at the end of the period. Craven, he really set up Grant Warner perfectly, and Warner was not able to net that home. That would have been a huge momentum shift in this game. Maryland, if they had converted there, this game would be tied. And you'd probably think that the Terps come into this period really in the driver's seat.
Definitely. If the Terps just had like a few more seconds there, if anything, I think that maybe that puck could have easily have gotten back to the net and maybe something would have come out of it. But we have more than a few seconds here to start off the second period. 20 whole minutes for the Terps to show everybody what they can do here.
And speaking of Craven, he's out on the ice to start this period off. Maryland going with their second line of Warner, Pilkington, and Craven. And a good forward check here by Maryland's forward group. Pilkington able to block a pass attempt. Petter now giving chase to the puck. He's going to send it over to Teske. A turnover, near opportunity there for the Hokies. Going back to Valiant. Valiant sends it to his defenseman. That's Rice. Rice shot, rebound. I don't think it got to Pharisee. Pilkington directly to a Hokie. Good feed in front. Tulo shot, save, Pharisee. So the Hokies come into this period firing. Pilkington down on the ice for a moment, gets back up. Maryland will get a change in terms of forward group. But Virginia Tech applying a lot of pressure, and Jack Pharisee playing really solid here tonight despite the goal, but you could make the argument that it wasn't really on him. Romps in the circle, wins the draw. Teske now with it. He's going to send it, try to get it out of the zone, but the Hokies keep it in. Now Petter back with the puck. Petter tried to get it to Doherty, and he successfully does. Doherty tried to get it to Romps. He couldn't control it. Petter now leaving it back for Romps. But the Hokies take over. Now sending it towards the net. Teske with it. Teske just directly to a Hokie. It was DeVivo with it. Puck still free. Good opportunity there. That was for Garlock. Maryland just can't get it out of their zone. A shot, rebound. Pharisee doesn't let the Hokies control it immediately. Setting up a fake shot. It got Doherty, defenseman for Virginia Tech. A shot, a slow shot. It might have actually went right by Pharisee. That one way up over the net now. And Teske, who's been out here this entire period, that pairing needs to get off the ice. They are gassed. And Duchesne does a good job clearing the puck. It's not going to be icing. And the Hokies now trying to set up shop. Directly to Sarah. Sarah tried to get it to Blake Warner. Instead it goes to Chase Wilson, who will dump it into the Maryland offensive zone. The Terps have generated practically no offense this period. Virginia Tech doing a really good job remaining in the driver's seat. A nice move there by a Hokie to get past Wilson. Here come the Hokies. Shot saved by Pharisee. Tech continues to apply pressure. That one went directly to Ewan Andrew. He wasn't looking though. Nice hit there by Warner along the boards. And now Amon in a fight for it with Zach Stewart. Amon turns it over to Andrew. Andrew sends it back to his defenseman. Shot blocked by Body. Body using his body to help his goaltender. Ewan Andrew now. Getting it to Zach Stewart. Amon patient with it. Tried to leave it to Sarah. Those two have played really well here tonight. So Virginia Tech, despite maintaining possession of the puck in their offensive zone, haven't really made Shano for the Terps do too much. Trevor Kellogg, a big hit there from Warner, a nice one. And Warner didn't see Mohan, who's been quiet here tonight. And they need to just, I don't even think they've sustained possession of the puck at all this period. That's got to change. And here come the Hokies. Ewan Andrew behind the net tried to center one of his line mates. D'Antona, I believe, was the intended recipient there, but Maryland, like I said, not really doing much here. And here come the Hokies. Good opportunity there. Shot didn't get to the net. Wallace, another really good defensive play by the sophomore. Nice hit there by Mohan along the boards. And a good shot. Great save by Pharisee. Virginia Tech with a really good opportunity there for Laugus. Laugus, another shot. Pharisee, another save. A whack at it. Net is open. They try to tap it in. And Pharisee staying grounded here. And here come the Terps. Schreibman tried to lead a potential rush. Mohan will clear it and get a quick change for Maryland. Harnan, who's already received a few really big hits, just trying to avoid another one there. Craven wins the fight for the puck. Maryland now finally finding a little bit of a rhythm. They try to do a deep pass towards Harnan, but it goes directly to J.H. Laugus. Wallace now fighting for the puck with Laugus, ends up into the possession of the Hokies. And now here's a good opportunity for David Ovitz. Centering pass, it hit off of Wallace's skate. Pharisee didn't have to do much there. Wallace very, very present in this game. And a takeaway there for Tommy Pilkington. Pilkington alone, backhand save. The best opportunity of the night for Maryland, squandered. A really good save there by the goaltender Tucker Forrest. But Maryland continuing to apply some really good pressure here. Craven racing to the puck. And now here come the Hokies. Craven delivered a good hit on the other side. Pilkington couldn't control it cleanly, but Grant Warner is going to get it. Warner loses a glove. Oh, it's a Hokie who loses a glove, excuse me. And here come the Hokies. West Valiant, a good save there by Pharisee. Rebound for Tulo, couldn't get it. Another great pass there by the Hokies, and here comes Maryland. A back and forth period. Grant Warner tried to feed it over to the other side of the ice to Pilkington, but the Hokies were able to intercept the pass. Pharisee now playing the puck. He's got to get in the net. Hokies applying good pressure. Teske probably didn't think he was going back to the net. Slowly got to the puck. Grant Warner's just going to send it, and that is going to be icing. Warner just ever so slightly missed the net, and he is gassed. This whole forward group, it seems like they've been out here for past 3 minutes or so.
Definitely a new spark, though, within the past few minutes in these Terps lines here. You can really see it start after they had that good defensive kill a few moments ago, and that's what really sparked this back and forth now with some of the Terps' best chances of the night coming out of it.
Face-off won by Virginia Tech, but Maryland might be the team that's retaining possession. Petter chasing the puck, try to get it to Pilkington. He'll successfully clear it, so Maryland will get the change they desperately needed. Petter still out there, turns it over. Serra, nice handles there by Andre Serra, something you don't typically see from him too often. Here comes Travis Duchesne. Duchesne, patient with it. He tried to feed it towards Romps in front of the net, but no one was home. Here come the Hokies now on another rush. Serra gets the puck. Sends it towards Doherty. Doherty was wide open. Doherty, a nice move there to get by a Hokie. That was Lagus, who's been all over the place tonight. Tech, a nice spin there by Lagus. Lagus gets the puck, a great pass. That was to Garlock. Garlock, ooh, a nice saucer pass, and the puck couldn't go to Pharisee. A really good defensive play there by Sean Amon. But a great pass there. They tried to get it to Gavin Naw. And here come the Terps, Sean Amon. Like I said, it's been back and forth a lot this period. Both teams doing a good job at getting the puck into their respective offensive zones. Rakowski's now in a fight for it with Andrew. Andrew wins the race. Tries to spin, successfully does. Here come the Hokies. Behind the net, Chase Wilson applying some good defensive pressure. Puck is free. Doherty trying to find somewhere to go. Hokies swarm him. Rakowski's now with it to Sean Amon. Amon, good pass there to Doherty. Doherty tried to get it to Chase Wilson, couldn't though. And the Hokies, again, they're starting to take it to Maryland here in the second period. About 12 minutes to go. Amon behind the net. Great pass there by, that was Jack Rakowskis. Again, a good attempt there for Cam Horan to maybe generate a rush for Maryland. Andrew turned over. Blake Warner. Cam Horan, who's just going to send it towards center ice. Puck goes flying past Pharisee. Rakowskis. Back to Amon. Amon. Pressured now. Virginia Tech, really good forecheck here. Directly to Rakowskis, though. Here come the Terps. Opportunity here with numbers. Rakowskis lost control of the puck. Another really good chance where Maryland just unable to cleanly field the puck. And here comes the Hokies. David Ovitz tried to center it back. Surprised they didn't call offsides there. Yeah, they do eventually. I guess the Hokies didn't cleanly get the puck. Shot from Schreibman. Good save there from Tucker Forrest. And Maryland, you got to like what you're seeing from them out of this second period.
Definitely. Tucker Forrest, though, in the crease for Virginia Tech hasn't been tested much tonight. And I know, especially from what Andy Parr has told us, is a very capable goalie. I believe I saw him play last year, too, against Virginia Tech. So I'm really curious to see if the Terps do continue getting these chances, if they're even going to be able to beat Forrest in the first place, knowing how capable he is in that Hokie net.
Schreibman able to win the faceoff. Mohan, good chance. Oh, he couldn't. Another really good opportunity for the Terps, but they just can't seem to be controlling the puck properly here tonight. Teske in a fight for the puck. It ends up going towards Petter. Petter, good pass to Mohan. Mohan heavily pressured, but a turnover nonetheless by Virginia Tech. Harnan tried to send it towards Schreibman, but a Hokie comes away with it. Mohan tried to get it to Schreibman himself. His first line really not generating a lot of offense, especially the way they typically do. Harnan, another good pass. They're just not on the same page. He tried to get it to Schreibman. He wasn't looking. Valiant. Fight for it with Harnan. Valiant, a couple whacks at it. Puck is free. Some Virginia Tech parents not happy that there wasn't a penalty called on Maryland. Not sure what they were looking for. Cross-check, but here's Harnan now. Turns it over. Lagus. Oh, and Harnan ever so slightly misses the puck, and the Terps, another chance at a breakaway, squandered. But here's Craven, who generated some good chances in that first period. Warner in a fight for it. Puck stays in the Maryland offensive zone. Craven tried to center it in front to Warner. Couldn't do it, though. Pilkington now. This second line definitely doing a good job producing some opportunities for the Terps. Serra now trying to keep it in. He couldn't. But Pilkington comes away with the puck. Pilkington, some nice moves. Pilkington charging the net. Pilkington carries just too high. Completely over the net, and it goes into the netting. Terps, though, you got to be happy with what you're seeing there. Out of that second line, who's going to stay on the ice, it appears.
Yeah, I'd really like to see how the Terps decide to go about the rest of this game in terms of maybe switching those lines up, or at least who is getting the most ice time. As Owen was saying, a lot from this second line here, nothing really from the first line, who seems to still be getting a lot of time. So I'd like to see how the coaching staff is interpreting that.
Amon comes away with the puck. Oh, and it just goes directly to the Virginia Tech bench. So another stoppage of play coming up here. Face-off coming up between Romps and Nah. Tied up. Now the puck tied up along the boards. Doherty, the only Terp there. He's going to try to leave it back for Sarah. Maybe, no, instead he's going to go down the ice to Duchesne. Duchesne just going to send it towards the net. I'm a little surprised he decided to do that. Terps might have had an opportunity there to set up shop offensively. Doherty turns it over. Ethan Garlock making a lot of really nice defensive plays here in this series. Virginia Tech, no rush from Maryland here. And a great pass to Garlock. Garlock, shot, save, Pharisee. Gives Pharisee some snow. Some boos raining in from the crowd.
The Terps are really taking a lot right now physically, and you're not seeing much retaliation from them. And it seems like that was almost maybe planned. I'm not sure if the coaching staff told them to chill out, especially compared to how chippy last night's game got. But you're seeing Pharisee getting some snow. You're seeing some of their main guys really get bullied around by the Hokies tonight, and not much coming from the Terps in retaliation.
Pharisee was one of the, main contributors to a big brawl last night. Doherty has had a really solid night. Bright future for the freshman. Doherty, great job to keep the puck in the zone for the moment, but Virginia Tech able to clear it nonetheless. Doherty, oh, so close again. Another good chance. Duchesne, a shot. And Doherty again in front of the net. Might have had a chance to tip that one in, but here come the Hokies on the other end. Nice physical presence there from Petter, and that's what the Terps needed. Petter just lays him down.
That's exactly what I was looking for there.
Sending it towards body. Apologize for interrupting you, Bailey.
No, don't worry. That's all I really had to say. That's exactly what I was looking for there. The fans, at least for Virginia Tech, are not loving it, but I think that's what the Terps need right now to get this spark back into them. Good
centering pass by Petter. Like Blake Warner was more interested in getting a hit rather than a shot, and another good one for Warner. And Bailey, you spoke it into existence. The Maryland Terrapins coming out a lot more aggressive, but a penalty coming up on the Terps. And we will have our first penalty kill for Maryland, which they were just 2 for 5 on successful penalty kills.
Fans are not loving how this game is going so far at the Gardens Ice House tonight, but as Owen was saying, 2 for 5 on penalty kills last night, and you've gotta at least hope that could have at least freshened up tonight. I think it was just a mental thing last night, and I know that they're probably going to be really extra focused on this tonight, where maybe this went a little absent-minded during last night's game. So let's see if they can really fix themselves up during tonight's first penalty kill.
Not only are they on the kill, they're on the kill without one of their best penalty killers in Blake Warner. And Virginia Tech, they just iced the puck themselves. DeVivo not happy with himself after tried to get it to Lagus. And here comes Lagus. Lagus, some nice moves there, turned over Duchesne. Very good clearance there. And Maryland power penalty kill, the opposite of last night, at least for the first 30 seconds of the kill, as we are about 7 minutes remaining in the second period. DeVivo turns it over. Good play there by Sarah. He's been really, really present here tonight. And James Romps, another freshman standout for this Terps team, clears the puck, and Maryland will get a quick change. Blake Warner, or Grant Warner now out there. Pilkington, really, really nice play by Pilkington. Here come the Terps. Pilkington, some nice moves, but turns it over. Hearns now. And a penalty coming up on Pilkington, and that's a soft call. I'm sorry, that's not a great call in my opinion. And some Terps fans not happy with it, but Maryland's not going to go on the 5-on-3, so any progress of this Pilkington, very vocal, with his displeasement there. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't.
I didn't see
Yeah,
much either.
We're talking to some of the parents of the players, and they say they think the Terps really don't get a lot of officiating help. At least this season. It seems like every year or every game there's some ticky-tacky call they call on Maryland, but then if the other team does the exact same thing, they don't call the penalty. It's very irritating as a Maryland broadcaster to see it on a weekly basis. I try to not be too biased, but it gets to a point eventually especially when they're already on the penalty kill, but Maryland doing a good job here for the first 15 seconds or so. Surprised they didn't call a penalty on Harmon there.
That was the exact same play there that Pilkington got taken off for.
You got to find consistency. Here comes the Hokies, and a good hit there by Teske. And Hokie fans not happy with the call, and there is going to be a penalty. You got to be kidding me with this.
I don't think in my 2 years as Terps hockey broadcaster I've ever seen a Maryland 5-on-2 kill.
Well, it wouldn't be a 5-on-2.
Oh, you're right.
5-on-3,
yes, with
Teske not happy with it. It's unbelievable, really. You have 3 ticky-tacky calls. They call all 3 of them. It gets to a point. That one probably a little bit more blatant, but it would be a 5-on-3 now. And now you got 3 players in the box, and it's 3 players who are typically on your penalty kill.
Sean Amon, Travis Duchesne, and Andre Serra, the lone 3 Terps out there. 3 very sound defensive guys, especially with Amon and Serra there in the backfield. So if anybody's going to be able to keep this sound, it will be them. And then, of course, Pharisee is really going to have to lock in like he never has before right now.
Face-off won by the Hokies. One-timer. It went off the post. Pharisee did a really good job, though. Wouldn't have gone in regardless. He was right there, right place, right time. Quick stoppage to fix the net. So Pharisee's definitely come to play here. It's unfortunate to see. I mean, Maryland, they were playing so well this period, and then, like I said, 3 calls where you didn't necessarily have to make the call. The last one probably a little bit more blatant, but the first 2, not really. I wouldn't say they were that obvious. And come the Hokies, a shot went wide. Lagus playing catch, shot, save Pharisee. Amon tried to clear it, couldn't. Lagus, another shot, broken up. Duchesne, really good job clearing. And Maryland, they need to get some new legs out there, and they will. Petter, Harnon, I'm not sure you want to have him out there, not because he lacks skill. He definitely is one of the more talented players on this team, but just his size. Maybe you want someone a little bit more feisty out there. Lagus, and attack the net. Shot, save Pharisee. So Maryland, they were able to kill the first penalty on Warner. You got 27 seconds left on the penalty on Pilkington, and then 1:21 left on the penalty given to Teske. So 5:03 left in this second period. If Maryland's able to get out of this period still just down 1, that would be a huge win. Face-off won by Virginia Tech. And a self-inflicted wound for the Hokies in Maryland. And surprised they didn't call that on Harnon there, given the track record of these officials. Sorry if the ACCHL officiating
they
or
may
commissioner
be, because I'm sure the coaches are going to submit this to them to take a review.
Well, I hope that you take my criticism as constructive criticism. And a wide open net. It would have been. That was Valiant who had a wide open net. You didn't see the puck shot, and it goes in. Zach Stewart, his 4th of the year, comes on the power play, and I mean, you can't blame Pharisee. Maryland was able to kill 2 of the penalties, and Virginia Tech fans obviously happy with the call. Maryland fans, I mean, I'm sure we'll hear from some of them after the game about some of those calls, and it's just unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, though. I do think that the Terps are going to take this as an opportunity to flip the script. I mean, we are obviously fired up here. I can't even imagine how they are feeling on the ice right now. They are going to be playing with some tenacity.
Oh, and another penalty. Oh, come on. Oh, my goodness. Another penalty. This on Teske again.
just called a high stick.
High stick on Teske. And I mean, that's I'm trying not to get too upset, but that's 4 penalties now on Maryland. Maryland bench visibly upset, and Maryland's going to have to kill another penalty. That one probably a little bit more blatant, but
yeah.
it's just annoying that, I mean, they fall into this hole, and I think that was a little bit of acting there by the Hokies, but of course I'm a little biased towards Maryland. And then there's I feel like they could have called the penalty there. The stuff that they're calling, it's not necessarily that they're calling the ticky-tack calls on Maryland. It's more about they're not showing any consistency in it. And this has happened all year where they'll call a bunch of ticky-tack calls against the Terps opponents, and then the Terps opponents will do the same thing to the Terps, and they don't call it. And Craven was looking for a penalty earlier. It was clearly interfered with. And it's unbelievable, really. And Virginia Tech, I mean, they're in the driver's seat now. They're up 2 goals already. Special teams has not been a bright spot for the Terps as of late. And a good shot block there by Craven, and Craven couldn't stay on his feet. Maryland might have had a chance at a 2-on-1 with Pilkington and Craven, who played very well together tonight on the same line. Terps will get some changes. 3 minutes left, 3:30 left in this second period. Maryland down 2-0. A minute left on the Teske penalty. He's already a second. Duchesne breakaway scores! I lost track of the puck, but Travis Duchesne shorthanded gives Maryland the first goal of the night. Ball don't lie, puck don't lie. Short-handed goal for Maryland.
Perfect shot there from that right side circle. And again, I knew they were going to be playing with a bit more tenacity right now, especially after what we saw just a few moments ago. It may not have come initially, but Travis Duchesne, especially one of the oldest guy on the ice right here for Maryland, he knows how to get the Terps back in business, and he delivers right now. Terps only down by 1 with 53 seconds still left on this Teske penalty. We are going to see if they can maintain this here.
I said if the Terps could get out of this period still down 1, they'd be happy. I'm sure definitely with the way the past few minutes have gone, they'd certainly be happy to still be down just 1. But Travis Duchesne gets a shorthanded goal. Duchesne, it's going to be his 3rd goal of the year. He hadn't scored since the opening weekend. He had 2 power play goals against Virginia. Shot there, it doesn't get to the net, and Duchesne might have a chance again. He's just going to smartly clear it, and that should, maybe Virginia Tech will have one more run. Good centering pass, and Rakowski's got a piece of it. Shot, oh, I thought it went in. It caught the side of the net. That would have been a backbreaker for Maryland. But you gotta be happy if you're the Terps right now. You got a shorthanded goal, but Virginia Tech still in the lead. Shot doesn't get to the net. Really good job there by Teske. Puck sent behind the net. Amon is going to be the one to retrieve. Amon back to Rakowskis. Doherty was wide open. They didn't see him. He would have had for sure a breakaway, at least partial. Rakowskis patiently taking the puck up in a trip there. They don't call anything. Of course they don't. It would have been against Virginia Tech, so not going to call that. Shot, save Pharisee. Might have gotten a little piece of it. Oh, Rakowskis and a goal. Rakowskis drove right into Pharisee. Hokies able to tap one in and kill her there. 1:27 left in the period, and Hokies going to go back up by 2.
Just too many bodies there in front of the net for Pharisee to handle, and again, a little friendly fire there from Rakowskis tapping into him. Rebound obviously snuck right out to a Hokie, and they were able to just slip one right past the pad of Pharisee.
Gavin Naw nets it home. And, I mean, the play was set up because Romps got tripped, and they didn't call it because it would have been against Virginia Tech. And officials clearly not allowed to call anything against the Hokies. Here comes Lagus. Fighting for it with Rakauskas. Pilkington delivering a hit. Shot wide of the net. That was by Lagus. He's having a good night. Here comes Maryland. A chance for Craven. Craven, he's alone. In terms of Terps there, he tried it, and you got just tackled there. They didn't call it. Warner in front. Warner wrapping it around, setting up for Petter, and a great glove save. It was probably the best opportunity Maryland's had this period, aside from the goal, and a really good save there by Tucker Forrest. It was a great setup by Warner. And a penalty coming up on Virginia Tech. Surprised they're actually making a call against them, not to be mean.
We have foul Lanigan heading for the box here. We're going to see what the official call is on that. But again, back to that last sequence there, chance for Maryland. At the end of the day, Tucker Forrest is the guy that you're going to have to get it back to. You can have a perfect pass, a perfect shot. Tucker Forrest in net, though, is going to really be the backbone for this Hokie team, even though we haven't seen a lot of saves from him so far tonight.
Petter back to Harnan. Back to Petter. Petter to Harnan. Harnan. Shot. Puck is still free. Fight for it behind the net. And Virginia Tech's going to clear it. I have a lot of Hokie fans looking at me. Sorry, I guess.
Now Lanigan called for a cross-check there, as Brandon Appleton just announced over the PA system.
Petter turns it over. He's not having the night he probably would want to have. And Hokie fans looking for a call. Hey, maybe now they can know what it's like to not have a call against them. That's going to be a period. Maryland, unfortunately, down 2 goals. They were able to net one home, but a lot of ticky-tack calls going against the Terps result in 2 Virginia Tech goals. And the Hokies trying to remain in the driver's seat. Maryland trying to crawl their way back. They're going to start the second period on a power play. They'll have a minute 18 to work with. Don't go anywhere. Third period underway. Welcome back to the Maryland Hockey Network. Owen Korzak alongside Bailey Unchester. Bailey, it's definitely been a game of all time. We'll just put it that way.
That's one way to put it for sure. But the Terps only down by 2 goals right now with 20 minutes left to play. Seeing a very similar narrative to what we had last night. I believe the score was also 3-1 coming into the third period. We have currently 1 minute and 18 seconds left of a Virginia Tech penalty on the board, so the Terps are going to start this period with a 5-on-4. Good early chance for them to spark something going on. We saw a nice chance, a nice goal from them earlier on last period by Travis Duchesne, shorthanded. We saw, obviously, if you guys were watching earlier, a plethora of penalties back-to-back, and Travis Duchesne was able to become the unsung hero coming out of that. So definitely the reason the Terps still have a chance in this game right now. So we're going to see if the Terps can ride off of that and make something happen here in the third period.
Yeah, they certainly are going to need to get something going quick. If they're able to score on this power play goal early, I mean, I liked how they looked coming at, or after the Duchesne goal. Obviously, they gave up a goal. It was kind of a weird goal where Kauskas ended up colliding with Pharisee. That pretty much led to the goal. Terp got a little tied up behind the play, no call, and eventually led to the goal. But opportunity here for Maryland. Like you said, starting on the power play and a face-off win for Harnan and a huge face-off win for the Terps as Eli Petter is going to dump it into the zone. James Body fought for it. And now Craven with it. Craven, patient. Some nice movement. Craven shot, rebound, and Duchesne couldn't cleanly get a hold of that puck. It would have been a really good opportunity there for the graduate student to get his second goal of the game. And here's Caleb Craven now trying to lead a rush. Petter leaves it back for Craven. He couldn't cleanly field the puck, and that seems to be a common trend for Maryland here tonight. Duchesne turns it over. Ball up, puck up in the air. Duchesne patiently sends it back to Petter. Petter, shot fake to Craven. Craven going to dump it in. Body going to try and win a foot race to the puck, and another clearance. And so power play probably, well, not probably, definitely less than ideal for Maryland so far. It's part of the issue with having a penalty at the end of the period. It's sometimes more difficult for the team on the power play to set up, and I believe we have an offsides coming up, and yeah, that'll be offsides on Patrick Harnan was the one who entered the zone. Not sure who was caught offsides.
I think James Body skating to the bench, definitely a little irritated. I'm going to assume that was on him, trying to enter the zone there on that left side, maybe a little bit ahead of the play, though seemed very frustrated with the call.
Wilson now, Maryland, I think they're going to go with a more typical line now with just 10 seconds left on the power play. Virginia Tech wins the faceoff. They're going to send it back. Amon couldn't get a hold of the puck, and that is going to do it for the Maryland power play. So Maryland, 2 power play opportunities, no scores, and Horan just ever so closely. Nearly an odd man rush for the Terps, and Maryland, they've had opportunities to get some good shots on Tucker Forrest, but haven't really been able to capitalize on those opportunities. And you have a stoppage. Puck went into the netting. Maryland will have an offensive zone faceoff. They're going to need to get something going here quickly. They got to get the puck to the net, something they haven't really done much of tonight. Up in the air. Clearance. Oh, and Cam Horan, who I haven't heard his name too much here tonight. Nice little chase. Amon just going to dump it in. Seems to be a common trend for Maryland. I think they might need to get away from that. If they want to have a chance to come back, is try to, enter the zone, not just dump it in and hope that a Terp can win a foot race to the puck. Sarah along the boards. He had an assist on the Duchesne goal earlier. Horan tried to clear it, and it was Harnan who tried to clear it. Ended up going off of an official's skate. Horan, it's a little slashed, no call. Ewan Andrew, shot blocked by Sarah. Another really good play by Sarah there. Puck deep into Terps defensive zone. Amon patient with it, tries to leave it to Mohan, not Petter. Maryland has their top scoring line, and Amon passed directly to him. He had Mohan right in front of him. He turns it over instead. Shot, save, Pharisee. The shot from Jacob Watchell. He's got 3 goals on the year.
Watchell tried to do it all himself there. Not sure if that was the play from him, when it looked like he had a few other Hokies crashing in on that opposite post. Could have been a good opportunity for an assist for him. Decides to shoot it right into the chest of Pharisee, as now the Terps have a rush the other way.
Schreibman, a little bit too much moves for his own good, but he comes away with the puck anyway. Schreibman, a shot. I believe it was delivered by Petter. It was. Teskey tries to dump it towards Mohan. It's going to end up going to the Hokies instead. And another chance for Maryland squandered. And here comes Virginia Tech. Shot from Watchman. Oh, and a puck is free in front of the net. What a save by Pharisee. Jacob Davidovitz, an Oakton, Virginia native, a senior. Point-blank opportunity, and Pharisee with the robbery.
Pharisee with just some incredible reflexes we have seen tonight and all season long. Again, that puck left perfectly for Davidovitz right above the crease. Pharisee says no.
Virginia Tech wins the face-off. Pharisee has been, in my opinion, probably the best Terp over these past 4 games. Tonight, last night, and their previous matchups against Penn State, he's been lights out. Here comes the Terps' second line, and a big hit behind the play. I'm surprised they didn't call Warner on the other end. Save. Pilkington, didn't even have the puck in his control, and there is going to be a penalty coming up here on Virginia Tech. So Maryland, another power play opportunity here.
Yeah, Tommy Pilkington there just flattened along that blue line by a Virginia Tech Hokie. Didn't see specifically. We're going to see, though, who skates out into the box there to give you that specific, as long with the call from the official.
It's going to be Jackson DeVivo. Exchanges words with Caleb Craven, and this is an opportunity being served on a golden platter for Maryland. They're going to have to take advantage here on the power play. They're 0 for 2 tonight. They did score on a shorthanded goal, and Virginia Tech clears it immediately. And that
was Patrick Harnon, actually, though, cleared it for himself, waiting for somebody to get behind him to get that face-off pass. No one home, though, as Terps do a self-inflicted wound there.
Puck was cleared nonetheless. Duchesne now. Shot, save. It's a low percentage shot there from Duchesne. I would have liked him to maybe calm down there and maybe Maryland try to set something up, but getting a little trigger happy here. And I don't necessarily blame him. You got to get shots on the net here, especially as time is waning down. We're at 16 minutes left in regulation. Maryland chasing goals. They're down 2. Petter tried to deliver a blow to Lagas, but Harnon on the receiving end of another big hit. Harnon dives, trying to get the puck to Body. He's unable to do so, but Duchesne keeps it in. Body back to Duchesne. Travis Duchesne patiently back to Body. Harnon's going to be the one who receives the puck, though. Back to Petter. Petter. Shot. Puck in front of the net, free. Rebound, scores! James Body, his second goal of the weekend, and it's another power play goal.
James Body 2 nights in a row doing what he does best. Me and Owen and some of our other media members were talking in between periods here about James Body is really the one guy for this Terps team this year who knows how to park himself in front of that net. He thrives off of those post rebounds, and he is able to do so again 2 nights in a row. James Body really the hero for both of these Virginia Tech games.
Maryland, what a move by Schreibman between the legs. Here come the Terps. Schreibman, shot in front of the net. Harnon ended up slipping down in some extracurricular. Maybe, I think Luke Mohan just drove himself into the boards on accident. Puck, or stoppage of play, but James Body, like we said, using his body to his advantage. Another Virginia Tech parent looking at me. I'm so excited that my 4th line winger scored. What do you want me to do?
I think you have to fight him, Owen.
It was actually her, but
I don't discriminate.
Here comes Maryland, though. Their foot on the pedal here in this 3rd period. Back-to-back goals for James Body. Shot, a quick one. Maryland they got to get the puck out of their zone. A really good save by Pharisee, and they're able to clear. 15 minutes left in regulation. Maryland down 1 goal. Body was almost accidentally put in on the power play last night. Had a few guys in the box or not available. Ends up getting a power play goal. Puck is free in front, and here's Schreibman with a lot of speed, getting slashed at, and there's going to be a penalty coming up on Virginia Tech. Amon tried to leave it for Warner. Lost control. Warner patiently waiting, tried to get it back to Pilkington. And Rakowskis is with it. You got to be careful, though, behind your own net. Maryland has struggled to control the puck tonight. You do not want to net one into the empty net. Rakowskis leaving it for Craven, trying to lead a rush. A nice move there by Craven. Here come the Terps. Craven sends it back to Warner. Grant Warner tried to cross it in Pilkington. It was a really good opportunity there. Rakowskis back to Craven. Craven shot in front of the net. Pilkington got a piece of it. Duchesne centering it, and it was a great center to Warner. Rakowskis shot. Pilkington couldn't get there in time, and the penalty finally coming up here. But Maryland on the power play, another power play opportunity. This is technically their third of the period, but this would be their second full opportunity. The penalty, it's going to be on Hearns for Virginia Tech, Austin Hearns. He's got 7 assists on the year. Nice two-way player. Patrick Harnon ready to take the face-off, though. This is, must-see TV here in Laurel.
Terps are firing right now, definitely, and this is exactly what they needed. They thrive off of these exciting moments, and we're going to see, some shoving after the play.
Body was a little aggressive. I think he slipped. Petter with it. Petter goes back to Harnon. Harnon back to Petter. Petter, Craven. Ooh, he almost took the one-timer there. Petter back to Harnon. Harnon, he nearly lost it. Gets it, Body. He just missed the puck. But Craven with it. Craven, that puck is in the air. Maryland's going to have to try to keep it in their zone, and they do. Harnon, really good job there by Duchesne. Harnon, a turnover, and here come the Hokies. They're going to just try and clear. Great job by Petter to not let that puck get too far. He skates backwards, gets it to Harnon. Harnon back to Petter. Petter, a little bit too aggressive there, and here come the Hokies. Breakaway opportunity. Shot, save, Pharisee. A really nice save. Gavin Naw had a breakaway, the Pennington, New Jersey native. A really good stop there from Pharisee, and Maryland slowly crawling back. 1:18 left on the power play for the Terps.
Again, this back and forth, though, is really what the Terps thrive off of, even though this puck now in the Maryland defensive zone. That save by Pharisee there really reminding the Terps what they are fighting for, hopefully.
DeVivo lost his stick for the moment. Teskey cautiously trying to enter the zone, in the pass too far for Pilkington. Trying to clear at Romps. Unable to do so. That puck deflected off of a Terp stick, goes into the Virginia Tech bench. About a minute left on the power play for Maryland. 12:57 left in regulation. Maryland hoping that this game does not end in regulation, though. Unless they win it in regulation, of course, but Terps will just take what they can get here. Dump in by Teskey. And it goes to Romps. Romps, Maryland finally going to be able to set up on this power play opportunity. Teskey back to Pilkington. Back to Teskey, the quarterback. Teskey shot. Didn't get to the net. Goes into the netting. 45 seconds left on the power play, but Maryland, they were finally able to sustain some offense in the zone. Shot from Teskey, didn't get to the net. Warner incidentally leaves it for Schreibman. Schreibman back to Warner. Warner gets it back to Teskey. Great pass to Schreibman. In front, Romps couldn't cleanly get it. Romps still fighting for it with Valiant. Schreibman now with Valiant. Puck is still free. Pilkington, Maryland doing a really good job keeping it in the zone. Pilkington getting drawn up. Teskey comes away with it. Trying to center it for Schreibman. Teskey with a lot of size, uses it to his advantage there. Pilkington in front. Schreibman couldn't cleanly get it. Romps in front of the net. Might have been interfered with there. Pilkington, 4 seconds left on the power play. They might get one more shot off before even strength. Warner, shot in front. A lot of misdirection there. Teskey, if he was able to cleanly field it, might have had a chance there. Backhand, what a save! Tucker Forrest, Rob Schreibman. It was a huge opportunity there, but we're going to have an icing here, I believe. And so Maryland is going to be able to kind of take advantage of some worn-out Hokies here.
What a great chance from Schreibman there. You could tell that he had some trouble handling that puck, but was able to come through in the end with a quick shot on Forrest from his backhand. Just missed, though, as Forrest was able to really hug the post that Schreibman was going for. But as Owen was saying, a nice offensive zone draw here for the Terps could help them set up again.
Wilson loses the faceoff, so Virginia Tech's going to get a mini reset here. They're going to try to clear it. This could be icing again, and it will be. So Maryland, well, interesting, they're going with more of a defensive line here, but Wilson and Warner have both shown their ability to score this year. Blake Warner with 3 goals this year.
They have Cam Horan still out there with Wilson and Warner. I'm surprised they're not trying to slot James Body in with Wilson and Warner because we know how well they play together. But if Horan can still produce with these veterans, I am not mad at it.
Body's played a lot this period with the power play opportunities. Virginia Tech finally getting the change that they needed. They send the puck towards Pharisee. Sarah's the one with it, though. Sent it to Blake Warner. Couldn't cleanly field the puck. But Warner gets the puck out of the Maryland defensive zone. They send that one right towards Pharisee. Goes by him, though. Sarah back to Warner. Warner. Ooh, what a really good pass attempt to Horan. Horan in a foot race there with Kellogg. Kellogg wins it, though. Kellogg and Warner. Ooh, that could have been a really, really nasty collision between Kellogg and Warner. A lot of Hokies just slipped in the middle of the ice simultaneously.
Everyone's on the ground.
Shot wasn't a good one. Harnan might have interfered with the shot opportunity there. Ooh, that one. Pharisee might have gotten a piece of it. Oh, and Harnan just ever so slightly missed the puck. That one goes into the netting. We'll have a stoppage. We're just about halfway through this third period. Maryland trailing by 1, looking for the equalizer.
Definitely Maryland keeps this third line defense pairing out with Wachowskis and Wallace. Wallace, a guy who we saw a lot of earlier on in the game, and I am so glad that he's getting another chance here tonight because he seems like he is definitely playing with something to prove, trying to sneak his way into this lineup maybe a little bit more than he has been finding himself in lately.
Harnan fanned on the puck there. It would have been a rush for Maryland. Schreibman now fanning on 2, but a nice move there, and it ended up being a good pass to Harnan. Hokie got a piece of it, and a stoppage, and Maryland's going to have a much-needed offensive zone faceoff. .10:18 left to go in regulation. Faceoff is won by Mohan. Wallace. Oh, a great feed in front. Harnan, rebound! And a good deflection there by a Hokie. Looked like maybe a hand pass there. They don't call it. To the surprise of some Terps fans, it'll be icing, though.
Regardless, Virginia Tech looking a bit sloppy there with this puck. We've seen this go back for an icing probably about 5 times within the past 5 minutes, though, giving the Terps a lot of chances to set up off the draw in the offensive zone.
They're doing a line change here. They're getting their second line, which has generated a lot of pressure on their forecheck here. And a face-off run by Warner. Quick shot there by Teske, and a good save there by Forrest. He's made a lot of really good saves, and Virginia Tech finally going to get a change that they need, but Maryland, they are definitely bringing some heat into the kitchen here at the Gardens Ice House. Warner. Face off against Now. Warner wins it. Teske. Ooh, a really good shot there. Warner, another whack at it. Saved by Forrest. Virginia Tech able to clear the puck, but Maryland certainly been the much better team in this period. The icing again, I believe. It will be. Maryland, they had so many offensive zone faceoffs. Haven't been able to capitalize, though, since the power play goal by James Body. 9:45 left to go in regulation. Terps really in control of this period, though. Are they able to find the equalizer? Warner wins the draw again. He's done a really good job at the dot here tonight. Teske nearly turned it over. Craven in a battle for it. Nice collision there. Teske trying to come away with it. The Hokies end up getting it, but Warner, great feed in front to Craven. Collision in front of the net. Maryland still coming away with a great pass there. Pilkington, just goes out of the zone. A few nice spins by both Craven and Pilkington. Teske just sends it towards Forrest, and Forrest will leave it for one of his defensemen. Puck is open in front of the net. Craven fanned on it at first. Leaves it in front for Warner. Warner fans on it himself. Seems like the Terps have been on the doorstep for the entire period, and here comes Virginia Tech with maybe some numbers. Teske gets back in time. Petter, nice stick play there. Using his body now. Pilkington sends it over. Maryland, it looks like they might need a change here. They get Duchesne out there. DeVivo fighting for it with Teske. Teske can't see the puck. Looks like Warner might be the one in there trying to get it. He is. Tech comes away with it. Warner tries to deliver a blow, ends up being on the receiving end of it. Kellogg shot wide of the net. Duchesne, or not Duchesne, Pilkington leaves it for Duchesne. Here comes Duchesne, all by himself, so he's going to have to make some moves, unable to do so. Kellogg, a nice defensive stick play there. He's been all over the place here tonight for Virginia Tech. A nice collision along the boards there. Icing again, Maryland. They're going to have to take advantage of one of these icings eventually. Seems like they're due, doesn't it, Bailey?
It definitely does. Again, incredible period for them right now, and we've seen so many chances. Just seems like after a shot, they're not able to really capitalize off of any of these rebounds that they're finding. Virginia Tech doing a really good job of keeping tight defense along the crease right next to their goalie.
Face-off was won by the Hokies. Oh, they're unable to clear the zone, though. Puck just sent over the net of Forrest. Romps in the battle for it. Sends it back to Amon, who just sent it right back to Romps, who gets almost tackled there. Amon still fighting for it. Romps comes away with it. Ends up coming out of the zone. Sarah going to try to just dump it in. Forrest will leave it for Kellogg. Kellogg. Nice play there by Amon to end up getting the puck drawn up as we're about just under 8 minutes left in regulation here. Wilson gets held up a little bit there by Hearns. They don't call it. And here come the Hokies up the other way. It's Tulo who had the goal at the top of this game. Tulo tries to leave it back for nobody. Warner gets tripped. Ooh, Tulo, a good opportunity there. Tried to wrap around, but good play there by Pharisee. Puck sent directly to Warner. Warner now trying to leave it for Wilson. Wilson gives chase. Now Body finally back out there with his typical line. That may have been offsides. They don't call it. Ewan, Andrew, a big hit there from Warner, actually, not Amon. Another good hit by Warner, and here comes Maryland. Might have some numbers here. Rakowskis, good feed to Body. Body, shot just wide. It's a smart shot there. Puck is free in front of the net. Body couldn't control it. Mohan got a piece of the clearance, so it won't be icing if it goes that far. It doesn't. Great pass there by Wallace to Mohan. Mohan, good feed to Harnan. Harnan tried to make a host of Hokies miss, unable to do so, and here comes Virginia Tech entering the zone. Trying to establish some offensive possession, leaving it in front. Oh, just by Pharisee. Another really good save by the freshman. Teske now going to send it up. Harnan had a slight lead over Laugus. It's going to be icing, though. That puck had gone right instead of left. I have a feeling Harnan might have a breakaway right now.
Definitely, but even just going to the play before that, how did that one stay out from Pharisee?
Pharisee got a slight piece of it, ended up just rolling right by the right post.
Yeah, he had that whole right side of the net open. If there was any Hokie in range there, that could have been very deadly for the Terps.
Teske now. Like, try to get it to Harnan. Harnan was a little bit too aggressive there for his own good. They try to clear it. Hokies keep control. Puck is in front of the net. Pharisee, what a save. Another shot and a big collision between Harnan. Harnan just got shoved on the ground. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything there. Another nice hit by Harnan, though. So Harnan adding a physical aspect to his game here tonight. Here comes Schreiben with Petter. Schreiben, and they call it offsides ever so slightly. Another ticky-tack call going the Hokies' way here tonight.
Eli Petter just a step ahead of the play there. I agree with that call, though, if I'm being honest with you. I was looking at Petter there. He did seem to be ahead of that.
Harnan is pleading his case about when he pretty much just got shoved and punched to the ground by...
That wasn't great there, I will admit there.
That was Lanigan who just completely assaulted Harnan, who, I mean, I feel bad for Harnan with the amount of blows he's taken tonight. He's not the largest guy. Sarah with it now. Sarah behind the net of Amon. Nice move there by Sarah. He's having himself a night, isn't he? Kellogg. Clearance just goes directly to Sarah. Amon showing some nice handles there. Tried to get it to Sarah. It ends up in the stick of Pilkington. Not the best pass, but Warner's able to corral it. Gonna leave it for Craven. A good opportunity here for the Terps. Craven tried a centering pass. Ended up going right back to him. Craven leaves it for his defenseman. Shot in front. Puck is still free just over the net. Sarah had an opening. It looked like Craven now. Lost the puck and the Hokies going the other way. Shot, Pharisee, good save there. Puck goes into the netting. 4:50 left in this game. In regulation, Terps trailing 3-2.
Terps just can't seem to buy a goal this period, though. Definitely a few great chances, but it seems like where they're really strong right now, where we haven't seen them be strong earlier in the game, is just getting into that offensive zone in the first place. Can't seem to capitalize, though, off of any shots or rebounds after that.
Body kicks it over to Duchesne. And just send it towards the Virginia Tech zone. And that was a subtle use of hand there to set up Lagus. He ends up turning it over, though. I thought that was, you see the two jerseys, they're very similar in color, and so I thought that Maryland might have had a breakaway there. That's a shot, saved by Pharisee. Romps now. There, header. Tried to get it to Body, didn't see the puck. Here come the Hokies. Good opportunity there, shot just over the net. Back to Lagus. Lagus to Rice. Rice, shot, saved by Pharisee. Romps now in front of the net, trying to just get this puck out of there. Going to try to send it towards Pharisee. And they're going to call a high stick in there. Yeah, no doubt about that one. It's Tulo trying to plead his case, has a word with Body. But a stoppage, and Maryland will get some fresh legs out there. 4 minutes left in regulation now. Score 3-2. This game is turning into a nail-biter.
Maryland puts out their first line of forwards and the defense pair of Sean Amon and Andre Serra.
Face-off won by the Hokies. Pass directly to Mohan, but then Schreibman collided with him. Mohan might have had a chance at a breakaway there. Schreibman trying to do some nice handles, but really good stick work there by the defenseman for the Hokies. Serra, pass directly past DeVivo. Amon now gets the puck. All around the world is this puck here tonight. Amon leaving it for Serra. Serra uses the boards. Here comes Schreibman. Schreibman and Harnan have really just not been on the same page tonight. They collide there again. For Maryland, you got to start thinking about if you're able to sustain offensive possession, do you pull the goalie? Serra, a nice check there. And here comes Schreibman. Harnan alone in the slot. Again, a missed pass by Schreibman. Those two typically work so well together, have not been on the same page here tonight. Amon patiently awaiting a tie-up, and Warner just got hugged there by a Hokie. Serra left it for Craven. Just trying to get the puck, and Virginia Tech finding their game here late when it matters most. Really not allowing Maryland to do anything here, and Amon just going to try to clear it, and it'll be icing, and a back-breaking play there by Sean Amon and Maryland. Not only are they going to have to keep some tired skaters out on the ice, they're back in their own zone.
Still have a lot of potential here, especially if the Terps are able to clear this puck a bit. I know if they do clear, they'll probably change the personnel they have right now, but we have this experimental second line of forwards out here for the Terps, who it's really just an if question right now, if it's going to sustain long term.
DeVivo with numbers, shot. Oh, what a save by Pharisee with the stick. Call a cop, I don't believe it. Jack Pharisee robbery in the final 2:20 of this game to keep the Terps in it. Pilkington, really good play by Pilkington there to keep control. Craven, good opportunity there. Craven leaving it back for Warner, shot right on. Tucker Forrest with an easy save there right in the breadbasket, but Maryland finally generating a rush, and we are going to have a timeout called here by Joe Carter, I believe. 2:10 left, Maryland chasing that equalizer. Maryland has had numerous opportunities here. That was a really good opportunity there. I was a little surprised Craven didn't take the shot himself.
No, but still left it for Grant Warner, who, again, if he just had a little more sauce on that shot, could have been a very different story right now here. I mean, I've liked what I've seen so far from this second line of forwards with Pilkington, Grant Warner, and Craven, even though I know, as I was saying a bit earlier, a bit experimental, but especially back then there, just a few moments ago, some beautiful weave pass sequencing that almost ended in a very good chance for the Terps.
This game has been neck and neck all night, really. Second period, a handful of penalties, which you can make your own opinion on the calls, but that really kind of derailed any momentum that the Terps had generated. They played very well at even strength here tonight. They did that very well last night too. Maryland sticking with that, they're going, mixing up the lines a little bit. You got James Body out there, and they're not putting Pharisee back there. You got 6 skaters on the ice for Maryland right now. Body, Harnan, Warner, Craven, Petter, and Teskey. Maryland rolling the dice here with 2:10. We're going to have to pull Pharisee eventually, so they decide that time is now. Warner wins the faceoff. Petter leaving it for Craven. Craven trying to get it to Warner. Warner does a good job faking with the puck. Oh, Teskey here, and this should do it if Virginia Tech's able to capitalize. Hearns scores, and that should do it here in Laurel. Hokies capitalize on a turnover by Petter, and the score now 4-2 with 1:54 left.
Just a sloppy play there from the Terps, especially given the circumstance. Couldn't seem to manage all the skaters that they had with them in their offensive zone, and a turnover leading to, in sequence, a goal there from the Hokies, an empty netter. Pharisee currently back in the net for the Terps as they find themselves down 2-4 with 1:54 left to play in the third period.
Problem there, normally when you give up an empty net goal off a face-off, it's typically because you lose the face-off. Maryland won the face-off, and it was just a turnover. The two defensemen, what a save by Pharisee there. It's not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but Pharisee still playing with a lot of heart. Shot, save, Pharisee again, 1:34 left in this game. Maryland, if they're going to want any chance of pulling off a miracle, going to have to get it going now. And Body on the receiving end of a nice hit, and I think my hatred for Virginia Tech is only going to grow after this weekend. I already did not like this school for various reasons, and that reasoning is only growing now. Harnan, some nice stick moves there, but offsides.
Harnan, though, still standing tall against some Hokie pressure. I mean, it's just really props to him tonight if there is any silver lining. Harnan, as a player, I know size isn't his biggest asset, though he is such a talented skater that he is able to stay up most of the time when facing pressure from a bigger guy. Diz right there from two Hokies really sandwiching him a bit, and decent night for him in terms of that, not letting anything get to him, because I know the Hokies were really getting on him earlier in tonight's game. Pharisee coming back out again.
You're still down 2 goals. You're not, I guess it's not, you have a chance. I'm not surprised that they're trying out Wallace now here. Shot, rebound for Craven, another whack at it, and saves there by Forrest Craven. Oh, we're going to see some extracurricular here. Craven not happy, and emotions probably getting the best of him right now. Craven obviously yesterday had a 10-minute game misconduct. He'll be going to the box here.
We're definitely seeing a very different side of Caleb Craven this season compared to last, if any of you guys were sticking with us last season. I know Caleb Craven, the A now, given the A, and you just didn't really see any emotion like this from him last season. I know, obviously, if you are one of the captains, you have to do a lot to enforce that and really stand up for your team, but definitely two different players on the ice in comparison to this year and last year. I know also on the stat sheet, he's been struggling a bit, really just such a complete player last year, especially coming off a few seasons in the NAHL for the Maryland Black Bears, and it's just a shame that he hasn't been able to produce as much this year, but I would really love to see him get into the swing of what I know he can do, because he truly is, if not the most talented, definitely one of the most talented players on the ice for this Terps team when he is playing at his best.
Well, 47 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey to close this one out in Laurel. Pilkington gets it back to Teskey. Teskey to Petter. He's going to have an open shot attempt here. Shot doesn't get to the net. Virginia Tech clears it. Another opportunity here for DeVivo. Teskey drives him into the boards, and it's an unfortunate game. Maryland, I mean, they played Virginia Tech last year, 2 really one-sided games. Both of these games were within reach for Maryland. A lot of questionable officiating, you could probably say. Don't want to get in too much trouble, especially after my tangent in the second period. It was a little emotional. But Virginia Tech is going to get their 8th win of the season here tonight. Maryland is going to fall to 500 now, 7-7-1 now. Their losing streak will only extend now. It's a tough-fought game by Maryland. You've got to love the heart that they showed, but offensive production still lacking. A lot of lineup changes. I'm sure the players don't have too much chemistry with one another. Maryland, they will be at the ACC Showcase next week in Fairfax, Virginia. Maryland Hockey Network will have coverage for not only the Maryland game, but a handful of other games. A lot of opponents that Maryland has already faced will be at, or a lot of previous Maryland opponents from this season will be at the ACC Showcase. Should be a fun weekend of hockey, Andy and I's hometown, so we're excited to go back home. If Andy is able to be activated off of the IR list, we will keep the social media updated, but
regardless, we will be there.
Me and Bailey will be there. I'm not sure the dates yet.
We will have at least 4 games a day probably for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next weekend at the Showcase. So if you guys are bored, even when the Terps aren't playing, make sure you tune in to Maryland Hockey Network, because you might see some teams that you don't know much about, and you can learn a little bit about, you know, something random. It's going to be like High Point versus UNCW. We're going to get something like that. Random teams, but it'll be a fun call regardless. So tune in, clear your schedules this weekend, because ours are already clear. But as Owen was saying, Terps fall to below 500 here as both teams clear the ice. Next weekend, 3 games for the Terps at the Showcase, followed by a weekend trip to Connecticut after that for some non-conference games. So the Terps definitely have a chance to reset in some locations that aren't the Gardens Ice House after a tough few weekends here. And let's see if they do any better on the road.
Yes, and for myself, Owen Korzak, my color commentator, Bailey Unchester, our camera operator, Brendan, and all of the Maryland Hockey Network team, we would like to thank you for joining us this weekend for the Maryland and Virginia Tech weekend series. Maryland unfortunately fell in both